More Jessica, please, for a little bit of everything. Hey everybody, welcome. If you're new here, my name is Jessica. Today we're cooking. What are we cooking? Collard greens. Well, actually, we're making more than just collard greens. This video is a part of a series. Collard greens, pot roast, candy yams, and mac and cheese. So if you want any of those other three, be sure to check out those videos. But this one is about collard greens. So let's get started and let me show you our key ingredients. We have our bundles of collard greens. You can grab these from the produce station of the grocery stores. If you're not sure if you're picking out collards or turnip or mustard, all are great. Just be sure to look at this little line here and it will tell you which one you are grabbing. A yellow onion, crushed red pepper, black pepper, olive oil, hot sauce, garlic powder, seasoning salt. Y'all don't judge my container. It's been through some battles with olive oil. Bouillon cubes, beef flavor, or you can use chicken, smoked turkey meat. I alternate between the drums or wings or necks, whatever you can find. It's upside down. I put smoked turkey in mine. Some people use pork, but my family has slowly started to transition from pork, so turkey it is. Broth. Get reduced sodium, normal, doesn't matter, but chicken broth. And white vinegar. Just so you don't forget anything, please feel free to take a screenshot of this ingredient list. Has everything you need. And while we're talking about items needed, make sure you grab a pot that's big enough to hold all your greens and liquid. I add a little bit of olive oil as the base, not too much. Olive oil is really good for seasoning, and then my dad told me olive oil is what makes your greens a little greener. That's true, but we put that in there because we need to saute some onion. Getting my onion prep that I'll use in my base. I'm really not a big onion girl. Secrets out. But onion does add a really good flavor, especially to that initial olive oil. So I'm just going to do a small sliver type like of the onion at first. If you like the onion taste, you can start with something small like this and then work your way up from there. So this is what I'm going to use, just start off with my base. So say you want more onions in your greens, I'll show you when to add those in. This is not the time. We're just flavoring the oil right now. So save this for later. And then we'll just work with this for the time being. I heated my grease till it was nice and hot. So now, y'all, I am going to burn these onions. I don't know, sounds weird, but the burned onions, they just make a really good flavor. So here I am just stirring it around constantly until they become very dark in color. And look, y'all, I told y'all, obliterated, burnt, we're ready. After your onions are obliterated, I already put some in there. Here's my chicken broth. You want to add this in slow, okay? Very slow. You may even want to let it sit on 3 or 2 for a while, let it cool down, and then slowly add this in, because we all know liquid and oils don't mix and then you have grease flying. But I've already added some in, so now I'm just adding in my second container of chicken broth into my pot. So now that that's cooled down a little bit from all of the oils, we can actually add in our seasonings. Well, the beginning of our seasonings. A few shakes of seasoning salt. A few shakes of crushed red peppers. I try not to go overhand on the red pepper because you will taste it. Some black pepper, ground black pepper. Good amount of black pepper in there. And then some garlic powder. A few little shakes of that, not too much. So I'll let that stir around. And then let's add in our turkey. We've added our turkey. We have our onions. Next step is to add water. We want to bring this water up to maybe to about halfway point. So I'll add in a little bit of water and then our bouillon cubes. And this all can simmer as we finish cleaning our greens. Does anyone else strongly dislike peeling these bouillon cubes? Like, oh my goodness, they're like wrapped to perfection. You know, small cooking pains. Added some water till my pot was about halfway full. Added 2 bouillon cubes after I got them unpeeled. Sit, get nice and warm while we finish our greens for real. I start by tossing my greens into a scrubbed clean sink, and then slowly but surely I just undo these twist ties. working with one hand here, so I'll go ahead and get these all untied and then we'll be back. Now that they're all untied, I just start with running a little bit of water to get any initial debris or sugar crawlers off of the leaves. Yes, I have some sugar crawler while doing cleaning greens. That's just a quick rinse to start. So here's the part that nobody really likes, but it's so critical to do. Actually cleaning, aka picking your greens. I take the leaf away from the stems, I fold it in half and just rip, and then putting the stems off into a bag to the side, and then putting that leaf right back in the pot. So I'll keep doing this and I'll rinse them along the way, getting any potential debris. Sometimes I wash the whole leaf prior to taking the stem off. Some people keep the stems, but they just don't cook down as well for me, and I like a really easy chew with my greens. So just gonna keep cleaning these until we're all destemmed. Now that they're all destemmed, I'm just really going in with that water and rinsing them very well, and then also ripping up the leaf. You don't want them too large. You want them easy to grab with your fork and easy to put in your mouth to enjoy. So I'm just rinsing them off very well and ripping them along the way if I'm seeing leaves that are a little too large. So getting them nice and clean, nice and small, and ready for our pot. Checking on the pot, you just want it to be calm, no boiling. I think my temperature is in between 2 and 3 right now, just a real low setting. Let's add these greens in, baby. Okay, let's set you all down here. All right, so there's no like right way to get your greens into your pot. Mine is a pretty close distance, so I'm just gonna hands it. My hands are nice and clean. If you want, you can get a bowl, put them all in the bowl, and then add them to the pot. That'd be nice and pretty. But as always, we are real cooks here, so I'm just gonna hand it like I would normally do. Not gonna do anything special for y'all. So like I said, I inspected each leaf as I picked it, like got the stem off, and then I rinsed these things like no other. Kind of let some water build up, rinsed it out. Like, these things are clean. I also lucked up, this is a clean batch of greens. I didn't see any critter crawlers, I didn't see any dirt build up. So yeah, here we are. So I'm just gonna take my greens, drip a little bit, try to get a little excess water off, add in. That's it. That's what I do until this whole sink is empty. I don't know if you all saw the added, but here's my little spoon. I like to come in the greens that I've added in. I just press them down in the water a little bit. And guys, we don't have to just stick with this water. You can always add more. I like to get all my greens in and press down a little bit before I decide if it needs any more of a liquid base. Because these collard greens, y'all, will cook down. So they're kind of like spinach. You think you have a lot, but then you don't. Alright, all of my greens are in the pot. So now I'm just taking my wooden spoon and pressing them down, trying to see how much of the greens are actually submerged by the liquid base, and to see if I need to add any more water in. And with these, I do. I like to see the liquid pretty much covering all of my greens when I begin, and that's just not the case here. So let's go ahead and add in some more water. I told y'all get nothing fancy here. This is legit how I add in my water. I take a really oversized cup that I probably got from Target or Home Goods, and I fill it up with water and just go ahead and add it directly into my pot until it reaches a level that I'm comfortable with. So here, I think it took me about 2 extra large cups. Who knows how much this cup actually is. And okay, that looks pretty good, so we can rock with that. So I'll go ahead and just do what I do best, push those greens in. That way they can get really submerged. Gonna pop in one more bouillon cube. Now this is the time, if you like onions, where you need to add some more onions to your greens. Just chop them up, put them in here. That way they don't burn, they just cook. So before these are actually ready to cook, I'll sprinkle in a few more red pepper flakes on the top. A little bit of garlic powder. No, I don't like a lot of garlic powder in my greens, but a little bit of garlic powder. Some pepper. Good amount of pepper. Now a little bit of white vinegar. You may just want to do like a capful. I'll just pour some in there. I like 2 capfuls. And a little bit of hot sauce. and a little more olive oil up top. Final stir. Just press it all down in there. And we are ready to put our lid on these babies and let them cook for a while. So depending on your heat setting and your pot, your greens can take anywhere from 2 to 4 hours to cook. Not gonna lie, when I first moved, I was on struggle bus, so I bought this really cheap pot. Y'all, the first time I made collard greens, it took them 6 hours to cook. Yes, 6, that's how cheap the pot was. But anywho, I've leveled up a bit, got better pots. After it cooks for about an hour, I actually taste the broth in a leaf to see what type of flavor I'm getting. Maybe I want to add more pepper, maybe I want to add more seasoning salt, maybe more olive oil. It's all up to your taste buds. So we'll check back in. Y'all, these are smelling so good. Let's check in on our collard greens. If that's too hot, I don't want to deal with it. Look at them. We'll give them a stir. Ooh. Okay. The water's a little too boily for me. I don't know if y'all noticed that. That's our onion. Move it down to like a 2. But there we go. You don't really want them boiling, just simmering very well. And I like to stir them around, essentially break up that turkey leg that's in there. Y'all see that turkey leg? Look at that. Look at that. So tender, y'all. It's falling off the bone. But I'll show you what we do with that turkey leg a little later. We'll just keep letting these cook. I guess we can taste one right now. Fish out a leaf. There we go. So I'll let this cool off a little bit, and then I'll see what we're tasting like. This didn't hit me yet, you know. So I'm gonna add in a little bit more hot sauce, a pinch more vinegar, a pinch more seasoning salt, and a pinch more pepper. Set my timer for an hour, and y'all actually added in that extra turkey leg. You know, these are your greens. You make them how you want. I really wanted that meaty flavor, so we just added in that turkey leg. I probably wouldn't use it for a while anyway, so better yet not to waste it. Alright, so our collard greens have been cooking for about 2 hours. You can see that they're a lot darker in color, and you can see much more water at the top of all the smoke clears. But what I'm going to do now is actually remove the meat from the turkey legs and put it back in. So I'm taking the bones out prior to it being complete. I'm literally just gonna let it simmer for the rest of the time. Everything is tasting really good, so let's just make these greens tender. More tender, because they're tender. You know, not the most scenic sight, but this is what's left after I transferred the turkey legs over to my cutting board and cut off all of the meat. I tried very, very hard to get all of the little bones out of the meat that I was putting back into my greens. I just have these really big ones left. If you have a pet dog, maybe you want to get all the little bones off for real, and then give them the big bone as a treat. I've done that in the past. And he loved it. And on our collard greens, I had to move them to a different eye because they've been cooking for a while, and I needed the other eye for my candy yams. But they look amazing, you all. These are done. I just have them in here still cooking because I don't think you can overcook greens. Maybe that's my own opinion. But yeah, when my dad comes, I'll be able to serve him a hot bowl. But until then, I'll just let them keep simmering. Yes, I wish you all could smell this. So smoky, so amazing. And that's a wrap. Keep in mind, this is a video 1 of 4. So if you'd like to know how to make candy yams, mac and cheese, or pot roast, please check out my channel for those videos as well. But for this video, thank you so much for hanging out with me. I really enjoyed your company. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. I'd love to hear about your greens in the comment section, and if you made them and if you love them. And don't forget, please subscribe so we can keep hanging out. Bye everyone.